root of suffering in marriage, why marriage itself is the problem. Many people believe that the suffering in marriage comes from not choosing the right partner, not managing the relationship well, or not understanding love deeply enough. But the truth is, the problem is not the people, it's the system itself. Marriage, by its very nature, is a structure of mutual possession, control, and obligation. It is a contract that binds two people together, forcing them to adjust, compromise, and even sacrifice their individuality for the sake of maintaining the relationship. This is why trying to fix marriage is pointless, because the suffering is not accidental, it is built into the system itself. 1. The nature of marriage, possession and control. The moment two people enter marriage, they enter into a relationship of mutual ownership. You are mine, I am yours. This is the foundation of marriage. Control becomes inevitable. If one person changes, the other feels insecure and tries to bring them back to the right track. Freedom disappears. Decisions must be made collectively, often leading to compromises that make both partners unhappy. People often believe they can have a healthy marriage by avoiding control, giving each other space, and maintaining love. But in reality, this is impossible within the framework of marriage. The system itself demands possession, commitment, and obligation, and with these come conflict, pressure, and suffering. 2. Why pain is unavoidable in marriage. Some might argue that suffering in marriage comes from miscommunication, unmet expectations, or personal flaws. But in reality, even the best partners cannot escape these fundamental issues. Expectations are inevitable. The moment marriage begins, both people start expecting the other to fulfill certain roles: husband, wife, provider, caregiver, protector, supporter. These expectations create pressure and disappointment when not met. Change leads to conflict. No one stays the same forever, but marriage expects consistency. When one person evolves in a direction that the other doesn't like, tension arises. Dependence creates resentment. Marriage forces people to depend on each other emotionally, financially, and physically. Over time, this dependence often leads to frustration and a feeling of being trapped. No amount of relationship advice can fix this, because the suffering is built into the nature of marriage itself. 3. The real solution: letting go of marriage entirely. Since the root of suffering is marriage itself, the solution is not to fix it, but to abandon it altogether. Instead of trying to make marriage work, we should embrace a new way of living, one where love flows freely, without control or obligation. This is exactly what Life Genuine's second home offers. No ownership, no contracts. People connect naturally, stay together as long as they resonate, and part ways when the connection fades, without legal, financial, or emotional entanglements. No control, no expectations. Love is based on appreciation and mutual respect, not on obligations and sacrifice. Complete freedom for personal growth. Each person can evolve and pursue their own path without feeling trapped in a rigid structure. 4. Conclusion: free love is the only path to true happiness. If marriage is by definition a structure of control, possession, and obligation, then it is impossible to have a marriage without suffering. You cannot have a free and joyful love within a system that is designed for restriction and control. The only real solution is to let go of marriage entirely and embrace a life where relationships are based on freedom, and natural connection, rather than contracts, expectations, and control. Stop trying to fix marriage. Stop trying to make it work. Instead, step into a life where love flows naturally without suffering, where every connection is a choice, not a duty.